Hello everyone, welcome to this showcase of all the elements in Elementalism. We'll be showing every single ability for each element released so far, along with their rarities and sub-elements. If you aren't familiar with Elementalism, it's a Roblox game based on controlling the energy of the 4 elements. There are various forms and classes that wield this energy in different ways. Don't forget to support the channel. You can find links to the game and the server in the description or the comments. With that said, let's get started. To start, I'm going to show you the set of basic skills possessed by the water element. First, I want to show the skill called Water Collection, which allows you to gather water from the grass. It is very useful for filling the water gauge needed to execute skills. Moving on to active skills, we have Water Throw, which launches water projectiles. Water Slash, which, if you press the button twice, fires 2 faster, slashing-style water projectiles. Water Pull, which lets you drag an enemy toward you to set up various combos. Water Slam, which creates a large teardrop-shaped projectile that strikes from above to knock back any opponent. We also have Ice Wall, which creates a barrier of ice to shield you from attacks and provide cover. There are also 2 movement skills, Ice Skating, which helps you move across the field at high speed, and Ice Glide, which creates an ice path, offering greater freedom of movement in the air. To explain the general mechanics, all gameplay elements feature skills of 3 different rarity levels that can be unlocked using scrolls. Common scrolls are the easiest to find. They allow you to swap one of your base skills for another. For the water element, we have Freeze, which lets you freeze your projectiles to increase their impact power. This skill replaces Water Pull. We also have a second ability from the common scroll, which replaces Ice Wall. It is called Water Shield. It manipulates water to create a barrier that blocks projectiles. Rare scrolls are somewhat harder to find and allow you to unlock a stronger, more versatile skill. There are 3 such skills available for the water element. Ice Spikes, which creates a large sequence of spikes that briefly stun the opponent and knock them backward. Frost Breath, which creates an icy cloud that deals constant damage and keeps the enemy stunned with a chance to freeze them completely. And Water Wave, a powerful wave that knocks opponents backward. I want to emphasize that you can only use one of the rare scroll options at a time, not all of them. Finally, there are Lost Scroll skills, which are very rare to obtain. These are powerful skills that can only be used as an anti-teaming measure. The requirements are not being part of a party, being attacked by 2 or more opponents who are in a party together, and having low health. The water element's Lost Scroll skill is called Ice Nova. Alright, now that the water element's abilities have been covered, let's look at its sub-elements. To start, we have the plant sub-element. Its abilities inflict poison damage. Let's go through them one by one, starting with Verdant Bloom, which launches a seed to plant a small patch of grass. The rest of the abilities can be used within this area, such as Plant Trap, which slows down anyone standing on it and deals damage over time. We also have Leaves Barrage, which fires a volley of leaves that deal massive damage if they all connect. And Vine Whip, a single, powerful projectile. That's a brief demonstration of the plant sub-element in action. Now, let's move on to the blood sub-element. It consists of only 2 abilities, but they are quite powerful. The first is Blood Control. It gives you control over your opponent's body for a few brief seconds before launching them away. Some players use walls to set up combos with this. Then there is Blood Grasp. This is a faster move where you control your opponent's body to perform a down slam and briefly stun them. That covers the blood sub-element. Next up is the healing sub-element. This sub-element features 3 abilities that are primarily support-oriented. Healing Stream, which uses the power of water to restore your health or that of your allies. Energy Transfusion, which allows you to transfer your energy to your allies. If they are already at max energy, it grants an empowerment effect that buffs their physical abilities for a few seconds. And finally, we have Purification, which creates a pool of water capable of curing status effects such as burn, soaked, freezing, or frozen. With that covered, we finished looking at the water element. Now, let's move on to fire. Okay, to start, just like with the previous element, I'll first show its basic abilities, starting with Fireball, which launches a fire projectile. Then we have Fire Kick, which delivers a kick that creates a fire projectile traveling in the direction your character is facing. This projectile cannot be steered. There is also Fire Strike, where you lunge forward and launch a fire projectile that, unlike the one from Fire Kick, can be steered, just like Fireball. Next is Fire Shield, which envelops your body in a layer of fire. This protects you from projectiles and deals damage upon contact. We also have Fire Burst, which slams the ground with a burst of flame, knocking opponents backward and potentially setting the impact area ablaze. We also have two movement abilities, Fire Jet, which uses bursts of flame to fly through the air, and Fire Rush, which allows you to move across the ground at high speed. Now for the common scroll skill. We have Fire Combo, which replaces Fire Shield. It executes a 3-hit fire combo that can be used offensively to attack enemies or defensively to block projectiles. Now for the rare scroll skills. Fire Stream, which unleashes a short-range burst of flame that deals damage over time and keeps opponents stunned. And Fire Wall, a large wall-shaped fire projectile that deals heavy damage when launched at an enemy. Finally, for the Lost Scroll skill, we have Fire Meteors. This anti-teaming ability launches a volley of 3 large, fast-moving fire projectiles at enemies, dealing massive damage that cannot be blocked.
With that covered, I will now show the subclasses for this element, starting with Lightning, which has only 2 abilities. The first is Lightning Bolt, which fires a bolt of lightning at the enemy. It can pierce through projectiles, deal heavy damage, and inflict the electrocuted status. The second is somewhat more situational and specific. It is called Lightning Redirection. As you can see, if another lightning user fires a lightning bolt at you, you can return or deflect it. That covers this sub-element. Now let's move on to Combustion. The Combustion sub-element has only one ability, called Explosive Shot. As the name implies, it is a high-speed, powerful, explosive projectile that detonates on contact. That covers the fire element. Now let's move on to Earth.
Alright, for the Earth element, we have quite versatile moves that are both strong and defensive, starting with Boulder Toss, which is a standard Earth projectile. Now, to demonstrate the Earth manipulation ability, we need to use other skills in conjunction with it. For example, this is Earth Wall, a defensive Earth barrier similar to the Water Element's version, but by using Earth manipulation, we can turn it into an offensive move. We also have Earth Push, which lets us manipulate a massive chunk of rock capable of shoving nearby enemies. If we use Earth manipulation, we can launch it as a huge projectile. We also have 3 mobility skills. The first is Earth Surf. Like the mobility moves for all elements, it allows us to move across the battlefield at high speed. Earth Ascension, which lets us take flight on a rock for improved aerial mobility. And Earth Launch, which functions as a massive leap that can be aimed for use as an escape or to quickly close the distance to opponents. For the common scroll skill, we have Earth Rise. This is similar to Earth Push. We summon a large rock that can be used for defense or for a powerful offensive attack when Earth manipulation is applied. This move replaces Earth Wall. Now, for the rare scroll skills, we have Earth Multiple Rise, where we manipulate a variety of giant rocks to launch consecutive attacks against opponents. Earth Shockwave, which involves a high leap followed by a forceful landing that knocks opponents backward. And finally, Earth Spikes, a move where we summon a series of Earth-based spikes that cause bleeding and knock enemies backward. And for the Lost Scroll skill, we have Earthquake, a move consisting of 3 powerful strikes against the ground that create 3 craters of increasing size, knocking back and stunning anyone nearby. With the Earth abilities covered, let's look at its elements, starting with the Lava sub-element. It features 3 moves. Lava Shuriken, a shuriken-shaped projectile launched at high speed toward the opponent. It is capable of inflicting the melt effect. Next is Lava Line, a powerful ability that creates a pool of lava. It knocks opponents back and melts them upon contact. Finally, there is Melt. To use this, you need the Earth element, and it works as follows. Whenever you use Earthbending, specifically abilities like Earth Wall, Earth Rise, or Earth Push, you can melt the Earth to create a lava puddle that burns anyone who comes into contact with it. Now let's look at the Metal sub-element. Using this sub-element grants you specific metal gear, a metal chestplate and metal greaves with solid stats, perfect for new or intermediate players. It also features 3 abilities, starting with Metal Plates. This launches 2 metal plates that can stick to the opponent's limbs. There's also a good chance they will hit the opponent in the face, blinding them for a few seconds. Then there is Metal Control, which works in tandem with metal plates. As mentioned, once the plates stick to the opponent, Metal Control allows you to manipulate them and launch the opponent wherever you want, offering great potential for various combos. Lastly, there is Metal Boomerang, a projectile that, upon hitting the opponent, allows you to pull them toward you, thanks to the projectile's boomerang-like movement. Finally, for the Earth sub-element, we have Sand, which features 3 abilities. The first is Sand Javelin, a javelin-shaped projectile launched at high speed toward the opponent. It has a chance to inflict the Sandy effect, which clouds the target's vision with sand. Next is Sand Tornado, which creates a sand tornado that sends any rivals who come into contact with it flying. And finally, there is Quicksand, which creates a sand field that significantly slows down and deals damage over time to anyone who enters the area. That covers all the Earth element abilities. Now let's move on to Air.
To start off, Air features a passive ability that allows you to perform massive air-propelled leaps, an incredible skill for general mobility. Moving on to the active abilities, we have Air Strike, a standard air projectile, Air Push, which generates a wave of air that knocks back any opponents it hits, Air Swipe, one of the fastest projectiles in the game. Executed with a quick burst of air, this move often catches opponents off guard. We also have Air Pull, similar to Air Push. It generates an air wave, but instead of pushing, it drags enemies toward you. Perfect for starting a combo, or simply keeping them close, much like the Water Element's move. There is also a sub-ability available for purchase once you reach 100 mastery in the Air Element, Air Vacuum. At close range, this ability strips the air from your enemies for a few seconds, leaving them completely stunned while dealing gradual damage over time. As with all elements, there are 2 mobility skills, Air Scooter for ground movement, and Air Walk for flight. Finally, regarding scroll moves, we have Air Shield as a common skill scroll. This replaces Air Pull. The move is similar to Fire Shield, protecting you from projectiles and dealing damage upon contact. Now, regarding rare scroll skills, we have Air Tornado. As the name implies, this creates an AoE air tornado that sends anyone it hits flying. Then there is Air Uppercut, an air-based strike that launches hit opponents upward. And finally, Air Repulse, which creates a powerful air wave that knocks back any enemies it impacts. Moving on to the Lost skill scroll, we have Windstorm Burst. This encapsulates any nearby opponent within range inside an air orb before sending them flying. It could be described as a powerful defense-oriented skill. As for the Air sub-element, we have Sound, featuring 2 powerful abilities. The first is Sonic Vortex, which creates a large, slow-moving, high-damage projectile that destroys other projectiles and stuns on contact. The second ability is Paralyzing Scream, a wide-range AoE move that knocks enemies back while dealing significant damage and inflicting a strong stun effect. With that, we have covered every current skill for each element of the Elementalist class. I hope you found this useful and entertaining, and that it has helped clarify things so you can decide which element is your favorite. As always, we really appreciate your support, and don't forget that you can find the links to the game and its servers in the description and comments. With nothing more to say, we'll see you in the next one.